Rama walks down an escalator, upward moving escalator, and counts 150 steps. Okay, Rama's speed is 3 units steps per second, we have assumed. Okay, she's taking 150 steps. So what is the time elapsed? The time elapsed will be 150 divided by speed, which is 3. Right? This comes out to be 50 units. Right? So how much time is elapsed? 50 seconds. Okay. Now, Rama takes 150 steps. Okay. Why did Rama take 150 steps? Because the escalator is basically moving up, right? Okay. And Rama is basically walking down. So the number of steps taken by Rama is actually more than the number of steps visible on the escalator, right? Because Rama is doing work against, she's walking against the movement of the escalator, right? So the number of steps she has taken is definitely more than the number of steps visible on the stationary escalator, right? ओके अब ये 50 सेकंड्स में एस्केलेटर ने कितना कितना स्टेप्स ऊपर वॉक किया होगा द एस्केलेटर वुड हैव वॉक्ड इट्स स्पीड इज e मल्टीप्लाइड बाय इट्स टाइम 50 seconds. So Rama walks down an upward moving escalator and counts 150 steps. Her sister Shikha climbs the same escalator and counts 75 steps. Okay, if Rama's speed in steps per unit time is 3 times the speed of Shikha, find the number of steps visible when the escalator becomes stationary. Okay, this is what we're supposed to find, the number of steps when the escalator becomes stationary. Okay, now what we'll do is we'll assume Shikha ka speed as 1 step per second. Okay, so Rama speed is thrice, so Rama ka speed kya ho jayega? 3 steps per second. Okay, and we are assuming that the speed of the escalator is e steps per second. Okay, now Rama walks down an upward moving escalator. Escalator ऊपर जा रहा है, Rama is moving down. So definitely जितने number of steps होंगे उतने उससे ज्यादा walk करना पड़ेंगे Rama को. Why? Right, because she is going against the movement of the escalator, right? Okay, now Rama has basically taken 150 steps. Now 150 steps she has taken at the rate of 3 steps per second. So what is the time for which she has moved? She has moved for 150 upon 3, which is 50 seconds. Right? Okay. अब 50 seconds में escalator कितना move किया होगा? Escalator would have moved e into 50, right? So when Rama is taking 150 steps, okay, उसमें से e into 50 steps तो escalator ने दिलवाए होंगे ना, because she is walking in the opposite direction, right? So actually कितने steps होंगे escalator में when it is stationary? It is 150 minus the steps taken by the escalator, right? 50 into e. Now in the same way, Shikha is basically climbing up. Now escalator will support her, right? If she is taking 75 steps, her speed is 1 step per second. How much time does she travel for? She basically travels for 75 upon 1, which is 75 seconds. Escalator would have moved e into 75 steps. Speed into time. Okay, so escalator has moved e into 75 and Shikha herself has walked 75. Total number of steps कितना हो गया escalator पे? 75 by Shikha plus escalator, right? But both of these give the total distance, that is the total number of steps visible on the escalator, right? So when you basically equate them, you have 75 equals to 125e, giving you e equals to 3 by 5. Okay, you substitute e equals to 3 by 5 in any of these, either this or this, you get the total number of steps on the stationary escalator, 120 steps. Same thing you'll do when you put it here. You'll get 35, 75, sorry, 45 plus 75 is 120, same thing. Shama and Vyom walk up an escalator moving stairway. Okay. All right. The escalator moves at a constant speed. Shama takes 3 steps for every 2 steps of Vyom's. Shama gets to the top of the escalator after having taken 25 steps, while Vyom, because of his slower pace, lets the escalator do a little more work and takes only 20 steps to reach the top. If the escalator were turned off, how many steps would have they to walk up? Same thing. Okay. So just like the previous question, what we'll do is, it is given that Shama takes 3 steps for every 2 steps of Vyom. So what we do is, we assume Vyom's speed to be 2 steps per second. So Shama will take 3 steps, right? So Shama ka speed kitna dega? 3 steps per second. Okay, this makes things really very easy, guys. Okay, so Shama gets to the top of the escalator after having taken 25 steps. Okay, 25 steps at the rate of 3 steps per second. How much time does Shama travel for? Shama travels for 25 upon 3 seconds, right? Escalator ने भी उतने time के लिए travel किया होगा. We are assuming the speed of the escalator as e. Okay, so escalator has traveled 25 by 3 into e. Shama ने खुद ने travel किया 25. The escalator traveled 25 by 3 into e. The total number of visible steps of the escalator are these many, right? Shama ने कितना travel किया plus जितना उसको escalator ने help किया, right? Same thing. On the same grounds, you can say that Vyom, because his slower pace, because he has a slower pace, okay, lets the escalator do a little more work and takes only 20 steps. So Vyom is taking only 20 steps at the rate of 2 steps per second. What is the time for which Vyom has moved? Vyom has moved for 2 upon 20 upon 2, which is 10 seconds, right? अब इन 10 seconds में escalator ने कितना travel किया होगा? Escalator will have traveled 10 multiplied by E. व्योम ने कितना ट्रैवल किया है? 20 स्टेप्स. सो टोटल स्टेप्स कितना हो गया? व्योम ने कितना मूव किया प्लस एस्केलेटर ने कितना पुश किया, राइट? 20 plus 10 times E. You just equate these two. Okay, so when you do that, you can multiply throughout by 3, or you can just take 5 on this side. 25 में से 20 निकाल दिया, and 10E में से 25 by 3 निकाल दो. You will get 5E by 3. Okay, this directly gives you E equals to 3. Now substitute E equals to 3 in either this or this. Okay, you will get the answer. Number of steps on the escalator when they switch it off. 3 times the 30 plus 20, the answer is 50. There are 50 visible steps on the escalator. Okay.